But none of us are who we are when we came out the womb. You had to be told. Like if you wasn't told, like you sitting there and you have male parts and you have female parts and nobody tells you what those are, you don't know. Somebody had to explain it to you. You were born male. You were born female. This is how God designed us. So this is how you act. This is how you respond. Now, if nobody does that, because, nowadays we got this thing where nobody can tell you what you are or what you ain't. Right? I mean, it's a new world that we live in. Satan is doing his job. So everybody can be confused, especially our children who are supposed to be taught. They're supposed to learn. You come in a blank slate. When you go to school, you don't know nothing except for what your parents taught you. And we learn from hearing, watching, seeing, doing. Our surroundings teach us. Like you don't have to tell nobody, about what's wrong because they can sit there and watch and see when something ain't right. Because they've been taught something was right? It's like, if you don't know that the stove is hot, you're going to touch it. That's your inclination, right? It's like, well, I want to go touch this thing because before when I touched it, it wasn't hot. So then when you go touch it, you get burned. Or you can be somebody sitting there watch somebody else go up and touch it and watch their reaction when they touch it to realize, I better stay away from that. So there's a learning process from the blank slate process. And everything that you have become is either because you've been taught, you've learned it, you've seen it, your environment, whatever it is that produced who you are, kept pouring into you. If you're in a negative environment, it's going to pour into you. If you're in a positive environment, it's going to pour into you. Whatever the source for your knowledge is what you will absorb because that's all you have to absorb. I told you, if there's a child who's in child abuse and that's all he knows, then he considers that to be love. Why? Because that's all he's ever known. You take him out of that situation and somebody trying to love and hug and you're like, well, wait a minute, you ain't hitting nobody. Do you understand what I'm saying? So who you are today is not who you were in your baby pig. God created you to be, but somewhere along the line, you've been taught, you've learned, you've explored. There's an entire learning process that we all go through. Not one of us here knew anything when we came out the womb. But God knew everything about us. He made us. He designed us. Some people have personalities that are addictive. We found that out by what they do, right? Some are non-addictive. Some are conforming. Some are non-conforming. Some are followers. Some are leaders. Well, all that stuff wasn't in you. It was taught. You learned it from somewhere. Learned behavior. So when you learn how to hate cultures, it's because you was taught. Or you saw something that you did not like and it resonated as a learning process. Remember when I told you when Jesus was found in the temple? They taught him. He learned to be at the temple. He learned to follow God. He learned because coming out as a baby, he's just a baby. He's not, even though we know who he is, he don't know. Yeah. But at the age of 12, he had that aha moment and he realized through his teaching that mom and dad, why are you looking for me? Did you not know I must be about my father's business at the age of 12? Don't take long. So there's a blank slate, learning, and the third one is the decision process. This is where we really get kind of lost and confused because this is what we like to hold on to when we don't be what we think we ought to be, or we haven't become what people expect us to become, or what we expect ourselves to become. The first thing we want to do is blame our past. We don't want to hold no accountability or no responsibility for where we are right now. But at a certain point in your life, you became of age where you can make a decision.